Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to get Spice Melange in Dune Awakening. Now in order to craft Spice Melange, you will need to farm Spice Sand, and the best place to find Spice Sand is in the PvP side of the Deep Desert, which is the endgame area. You can also get Spice Sand in Hagga Basin and in the PvE part of the Deep Desert, but it is going to be a smaller amount, so let's check this out. Okay, so first make sure you have a compactor to easily harvest tons of spice sand. A compactor will bunch up the spice sand to be able to grab a huge amount at once. So make sure you craft the compactor before going to the spice field, as it will not be worth gathering spice without one. Okay, now to craft Spice Melange, you will need to farm Spice Sand, and Spice Sand can be easily found in the Deep Desert. When you see an explosion of purple sand in the sky, that is where Spice Sand will be. Now if you want to get the most amount of Spice Sand, you'll need to go to the PvP side of the Deep Desert. So you'll need to fly past the letter E on the map. So pulling up the map, I'm located right here, and there are plenty of spice fields in this area. Most of the spice fields will be found all the way at the north edge of the map in the letter I part of the map. But I do want to mention that the Deep Desert does change every week, so next week the locations for spice fields will change, but the large spice fields will always be somewhere at the edge of the south side of the Deep Desert at the letter I of the map. Okay, so once you find an explosion of purple sand in the sky, a spice field will be there. Land your ornithopter and use your compactor to bunch up the spice sand and collect. And make sure you're always near your ornithopter when collecting the spice sand, so you can fly and not get eaten by a worm. So you do want to keep your eye on the worm meter, as when collecting spice sand, you'll attract worms to your area. So whenever the worm meter is pulsing red, get in your ornithopter and fly above the sand, and wait until the worm leaves. Once the worm leaves, you can land your ornithopter and collect more spice sand. And with one spice field in the PvP area in the Deep Desert, you should easily fill up your ornithopter storage. Now you can also find spice fields in Hagga Basin and in the PvE part of the Deep Desert, but it will be a way smaller amount. So pulling up the map in Hagga Basin, you can see that I found a spice field here. And in the PvE part of the Deep Desert, I found a small spice field here. So if you're not into PvP or you're still in Hagga Basin, you can find small spice fields and gather spice sand. But it is best to go to the PvP part of the Deep Desert to easily fill up your ornithopter storage with spice sand. Okay, so by doing one run collecting spice sand in the PvP part of the Deep Desert, I was able to get over 4,200 spice sand, and with just one spice field, I was able to max out my storage. So once you have spice sand, go to your spice refinery and you can craft Spice Melange. So for a regular spice refinery, you'll need 750 water and 100 spice sand to craft one Spice Melange. Okay, so in the PvP part of the Deep Desert, you will easily find spice sand to craft Spice Melange. Now you can get spice sand in Hagga Basin and in the PvE part of the Deep Desert, but it will be a way smaller amount. So ideally it's best to go to the PvP part of the Deep Desert to farm spice sand. Hope this helps, and more Dune Awakening videos to come, so stay tuned. And of course, stay surviving, because the spice must flow.